What's this say? Dawn Finch. Is that feathers? Question marks.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the clinic, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to...
What is that? Can I grab it?
wander.
Oh. This is our mind wandering. Probably shouldn't be wandering
I asked him to describe it.
while we're doing heavy machinery work.
He said he started small,
Doing two different things
imagining a labyrinth.
with my hands. Kind of confusing but fun.
He'd feel his way about.
Oh. Totally missed that one. Oh, it's a big labyrinth, alright.
Then something moved. Bats. And toads.
And toads. Oh, is that the boss? Ah, we will fight the boss. Ooh. Dragons!
And things that have not names.
Oh. I could totally see how he lost
He knew it was all in his head.
track of things.
He took it very seriously.
But he took it very seriously. That went together
I
quite
had
well.
hoped he'd find himself.
That tying the fish and movements in is very well done.
But he found something more.
He had a really vivid
I
imagination.
worried about him then.
I guess we saw that with Molly.
Daydreaming at the cannery.
Seems like more fun than anything else he was doing.
I spoke with his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee.
Probably because he was
Methodical, tireless,
Zoned
focused.
As a psychiatrist, really,
Like a whole new Lewis.
should you have been talking to his boss? Is that...
So I let him go on.
Oh, you enabled him.
I even encouraged him.
Oh. I mean,
It seemed very promising at first.
find what solace you can in a rough situation, but I walked into a wall.
He told me he'd made a new friend.
He has a pet dog. Hello, doggy. I shall name you Ralph. Come on, Ralph.
On the edge of a city he named Lewis-topia.
Ralph, come on, boy. Louistopia.
He built the city up slowly, brick by brick.
I got a band in this city. No wonder I don't want to leave.
Then he made musicians.
And dancers. We got a whole gang.
And songs for them to play.
He was a musician.
He talked about starting a band.
I'm sensing the
And he was
story
always humming something.
doesn't end well. Funny enough.
Every day his imagination grew stronger.
Oh, hey! Hey, people. Let me through, let me through.
He no longer spoke at the cannery.
I know I'm cool, but So he probably started daydreaming at the cannery.
but his chopping was as reliable as ever.
He started daydreaming at the cannery, but I'm sure this traveled into at home as well.
Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination,
Yep.
so he could do whatever he wished.
Oh, did that not? Had to be here. No? Come on now, how many fishes? Oh, I just noticed that the little puppet is a fish. Oh, we had to go this way. I thought I had to cut the fish.
He held an election for mayor,
Who won?
and he won.
Ah, congrats, man. You deserved it.
They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering.
Why did I become mayor if I planned on leaving?
It became a game for him.
I don't understand these mayors. Just,
He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on.
oh, we conquered cities.
New Louisville.
New Louisville. My favorite. I'm impressed by his imagination.
St.
It
Louis.
definitely does run in this family.
He started drifting away from our reality.
He should have started writing. Could have sold books on this. Oop, I'm gonna crash.
Minneapolis.
Minneapolis.
Until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery.
Uh-oh.
Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Louis kept sailing on.
Oh, wow. I gotta work, Mom. These fish. These fish are important to me. I feel like that would have been a big moment. Oh, those mountains, they look like they are written in. That almost looks like Elvish.
In Louisburg, he heard rumors of a
beautiful prince. That's what he heard about.
beautiful prince.
And he went to go see the beautiful prince. Where is he? The beautiful prince.
The prince was on his own quest for
Radiant rainbows, a sinister serpent. We have to help him.
sinister serpents.
Oh, so that's how they would have gone together.
He followed the sound of his
Electric guitar, obviously.
electric sitar.
Sitar. Oh my.
His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon.
East of the sun and west of the moon. Don't forget.
Even then, his logic remained sound.
Oh, we are fully in it now.
He knew the world was all in his imagination.
But this is still a very vivid world. I could see why we might lose track of it. Hello, people. I'm here to see the prince.
But he was so proud of having created it.
Fish definitely seem to be a big part of this world.
In his own eyes, he'd become something greater
Oh, is
than
Rolf
a
there?
king.
Come on, doggy. Something greater than a king. Well, when you create a world, you're a god, obviously.
For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming.
Really? You have a little waddle. Hello, me. Waddle, waddle, waddle.
And then it struck him that the real Louis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace.
To meet our prince. Where's the prince?
My imagination is as real as my body, he told me.
Oh.
It was hard to argue with him.
I mean, when you're in that deep. Mini doors and big doors, my favorite. Whoa. I just hope it's not an accident at the facility.
He began to forget the world we know.
Oh, this is his spot. He had his little game system. And the more Chinese food, of course. I'm surprised when he went to town he would. Intriguing.
I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker.
Wait, are we Lewis, or is that Lewis? Or are we the better Lewis? Hello, Lewis.
He began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
You are nothing, Lewis. Oh, he's doing nothing. He's just... How are you a model worker? Yeah, I think I'm the character.
I still thought I could save him.
Oh, wait. I didn't mean to step on. Wait. There's no going backwards. It's not like we move backwards.
Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder.
Crowned king. This just goes out a window. This is more like it.
The palace would be packed with his companions.
I am here, my royal servants. I am here. Yes, do play that music. Thank you, thank you. This man is about to die, but he will be crowned king before he does.
Including the wise Calico who had insisted on advising him.
The Calico is here? Thank goodness. I wouldn't have it any other way. Wise Calico indeed. He would be most wise to want to serve me. You there.
His prince waited, holding his crown.
The prince. Where is the prince?
There was only one thing left to do.
And more fish. Time for the crown. Dear prince.
Bend down his head.
My prince, you're a bit heavy set, but I love you, but why is... it's a crown, it's free, right?
And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
Oh, I just suddenly got really sad. Poor guy.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
I wish so too. His hat. So this must have been from his, locker contents. His pills. All that. Wow. He went too deep. Can't go that deep. So it was after Lewis's death, I think, that they left, they were saying?
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie.
Oh, so she left with her mom.
I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder. I wish we'd stayed.
What is that? Packing peanuts?
But I understand why we left. My mom ended up leaving everything behind.
Everything? Happy 90th birthday. Oh, there's higher yet we can go. It's so creaky up here. I would be afraid being up here. I don't have a problem with heights, but I have a problem with buildings not being up to code and being forced to walk in them. Edith and Mom. I mean, why would she want to make it harder on her?
What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner.
I don't think the 90-year-old woman was really all the way up here. Even back then.
But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night.
Are we? Oh, this must have been... Oh, this was our room. Quick, let's read before everything falls down. So we had to leave all of our stuff as well. Even then she had gloves. I saw one on the bed. Edith Finch.
That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
Things got tipped over. I remember that much.
the power had been shut off that morning.
Oh.
But Edie always had plenty of
I
candles.
was gonna say, I've been a reoccurring theme, all these candles.
When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance.
Ah. As I saw the door, I was like, ah.
Or that Edie had a key to it.
And Edie had shared that key with you, very obviously. And again with the gloves. I like her gloves. But when I saw that entrance, I was like, we never did find out anything about that. I got worried for a second, but then...
That thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house.
we could try. Better than...
Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning.
Understandable. Okay. But wow. Dark. The House, Rain, Odin. History of the Finches by Edith Finch. So this is what she found.
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born.
Oh.
That night, the tide went way, way out.
Out far enough past the building.
It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground.
Interesting.
There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years.
Stop. We shouldn't be going into the ocean if there's been a receded water movement and an earthquake within the same time span. There's gonna be a tidal wave, or not a tidal wave, a tsunami. Forget tidal waves.
God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life.
I feel bad about this. It's gonna take a while to walk out there.
But I never thought I'd go back to it.
Here we go.
When the fog rolled in, I lost my way.
Just pushing forward.
I got turned around.
Did we? I guess I'll walk back the other way.
I started seeing things.
Oh, look. It's that same elk that killed your father. How old were you then?
Things I'd forgotten had ever existed.
Like what?
But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. things.
You forgot beds existed?
That night, a lot of things came back to me.
Oh, we made it.
Or maybe I came back to them.
Could be. Of course, the fence made it. Ah, yes, I can't see myself. That was...
Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go! I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car.
I mean, she had a right to be
I
worried.
never saw Great Grandma Edie again.
No, Great-Grandma Edie, the only person who I have seen.
The next morning, the band came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot.
Trying to avoid the curse. Of course.
We both tried to make the best of it.
Classic. Did everyone else do this when on long drives?
A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it,
Sounds like your mom
but
didn't.
she started getting sick a lot.
Oh. Your mom didn't.
The rest happened pretty quickly. She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone.
The last one. All alone.
The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you.
The baby.
I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is.
Oh.
This journal was supposed to be for you,
Are we the baby?
but now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you.
I don't blame you.
And tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now,
Oh no.
things didn't work out that way.
Oh no. Edith. I just got to know you.
This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone.
Beginning.
I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
Aww. So we got to explore the house, and now it's been... He seems about 12 or up. And the house is still there, wow. The curse continued. That was a lovely game. I really did enjoy that. I'm feeling kind of teary-eyed about it almost. Like, I've had good emotions with it. It had many strong messages about the stories we tell our families, about the stories we tell ourselves, and the effects that they could have on everything. But just, it was wow. It was very well done. The graphics were great. The music was very moving. And it just... Aw, the little villager. certain questions still remained, like what happened to Milton, if he was really dead or if he escaped the curse. Part of me wonders if he did escape on that ship after all. Perhaps I missed something. Not sure about that. I was surprised by how in depth this game went and how different many of the stories were, and the thought, like being able to be a cat versus wandering around and chopping fish, like very different feelings went behind both of those. So I'm curious about what inspired the story. That would have been nice to know a bit more of. I will admit though that I did appreciate the map, but even with it, it did get a bit confusing keeping track of everyone. There were a lot of people, all of them dead. Do we even get to know the name of the last child? I don't know. And what happened to Edith's husband? Why was he not there with her? Or, I don't know, I'm curious that no mention was ever made of that character. The Dreadful Stories one, I think, is going to stick with me for a long time. It was quite dreadful, one might say. Just overall, very, very good job. Everyone involved. Very sad endings for so many of the characters. Many of them so ironic, especially the mother that ran so long thinking she could escape the curse of the house only to just get cancer in the end. Did it ever say exactly? Some characters, though, I don't think it said very clearly what happened to them. Like Edith's father. I know he had his hand hurt in that accident, and I'm sure they must have been terrified at that time that he was going to die, but I'm curious what happened to him besides that. Unless I missed something because I got names mixed up, I don't think it did say what exactly happened to him or to the cat. Let's be honest, the cat was something I was hoping to see and did not see in loving memory. The Edith Finch team. And they have a little Finch with them. The end. Very, very well. Well, thank you all very much for sticking around through this whole story. I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I did, and that we all were able to take home our own lessons from it on imaginations and the stories that we tell ourselves. But we're gonna end it off right there for now. No replaying the story at this moment. I'm in a bit of an emotionally tender spot, so if you are too, or if you enjoyed any of this, please hit that like button down below. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe to stick around for many more cool games coming up in the future. Who knows what will be next? I know, but you'll find out if you subscribe. And until next time, see you later. Bye.